Hello, internet. Okay, so a little bit different setup here. First of all, I don't know how to keep videos short, so I'm sure this video will get long. I have a lot of thoughts, a lot of pivoting that I'm doing, lots of thinking I've been doing over this past few months. Um, Secondly, yes, this is a much different camera, much different microphone, much different lighting than usual. This is my good gear that I use for Twitch streaming and only Twitch streaming. I stream for myself. I stream for a client, mostly for client, not so much for myself. And he sends me to deer. And so here we are. And that's why there's the new microphone and different camera. And I'm working on the lighting. I can't stop changing my furniture around. Maybe that one's better. I don't know. I constantly move my furniture around, so I constantly have filming areas that are different. I can't stop. But let's just dive in. Okay, first of all, I came across a an article from Ashley Amberger. And as you all know, she is one of my favorite people on the internet. She is just the sister I never had, love her to death. And she recently released this blog about if she had started over, what she would have done and what she would have focused on. And for me, it was kind of the call out I needed because I've been thinking a lot about creating projects that scale and using technology to my advantage and all of these kinds of things for the most part for these past 10 years. Actually, it's way more than 10 years now. I keep saying like, oh, I've been writing for 10 years and like I just in denial about how fast time goes. But I have almost always exclusively done client work in that time. I've done a decent amount of like creating content. I don't know. I think my website has like 50 blogs, give or take, and then these YouTube videos. But like, is that any kind of content creation on the scale that like it would need? Not really, because it just, for me, all those years, one, I felt like I needed to have experience under my belt to create content. Because there's a lot of people out there who are like expertcopywriter101.com and they've like read two blogs on copywriting, but they want to like tell you they're an expert. And that's kind of cringy. People, first of all, people can tell when you don't know what you're talking about. So be careful doing that. I think there's a lot to be said for documenting your process as you're learning to become a copywriter and sharing your knowledge versus like, I'm an expert and let me build my entire brand around that. But also like you do you, what do I know? And so I spent most time just focusing on client work and working with clients and all that and like publishing a blog or YouTube video like here and there as I went. When you send it for my email list, it's just dead crickets. There is no, autoresponder and like email sequence that leads to like a sales funnel. And honestly, that was kind of, I don't want to say a problem because I've been okay, but like I just think it's time. And I was reading this article, and the whole point is basically about that. Like, in summary, it's creating things that auto generate money for you while you sleep, kind of, but like in a less cringy and much more like realistic way. Um, so anyway, it gave me a mental crisis and made me realize that I need to do this finally and truly because okay, for people who are newbies, there's two like forms that like of your business. There's like the front end, there's the sexy part, the branding, the marketing, the fonts, the colors, the YouTube videos, the Instagram posts, the blogs, front end. All the things that people come across your brand organically, paid ads, whatever it is. That's how they interact with it. And then there's the back end stuff, which is like, okay, once you get a client, like what software do you use to push them through your funnel? Like, what are all the back end stuff? How you get paid, how you do invoices, how the whole course you create, like the whole course setup and all of the lessons, all of that. That's all the back end stuff that you got to do that nobody sees. They just enter in through the front and then they're dragged through all of that in the back end. So basically, that is like the summary of what we're going to talk about today and my thoughts on how I'm going to do this. finally going to take the time to set up auto responders and all of that goody goodness. And I'll probably, if you guys want videos on me actually like doing it and writing it, doing the nerdy stuff, maybe I'll do my first live stream on here and like live stream it a little bit. I don't know. We'll think about that. But or I'll just work on it in private and cry. So there's a lot of steps in there, and I highly recommend just reading the whole article. But here were my nuggets that I am going to do for myself because it's finally time to do this. And I'm excited about it. I just I'm not ready for the amount of like I've set up a million autoresponders and like ConvertKit and MailChimp and all of that, but just like doing work that you hope you're going to get paid for is always tough. And I think that's always why I struggle with it, because a lot of setting up all of the, like, I know tons of people who have done all this and set up all kinds of beautiful autoresponders, and like it doesn't make them money. Like it doesn't convert, it doesn't sell. And I've had that. My first product, I think I sold like $45. That was it. I like 10, 15 years ago. But like it was about starting a business, and then like I didn't know what I was really talking about. You know, once again, circling back to like make content about things that you actually know what the hell you're talking about. Cringe. But so I think I put it off because I have a bigger audience now than back then, but there's still the fear that like you're gonna do all this work and spend all these hours and then crickets. So, which is so funny because I do for clients all the time and like absolutely not a drop. Well, a little bit of fear. I am constantly worried that I'm gonna blunder everybody's work all the time, which has yet to ever happen. I've not really had like a completely failed event, or I mean a little bit like under expectations, sure, but a complete just zero crickets for a client, no. But am I scared for my own business? Yes, a little bit. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is set up your landing page to have someone be sent somewhere. Like from this video, you click on a link that takes you to like a free option. Now, the thing I'm going to have to think about for a minute is that like, do I want my first sales funnel to promote my course or to convince clients to work with me? Now, between the two, I can tell you right now that clients pay me a lot more. Teaching copywriting is not a moneymaker. But also, I don't charge like $2,000 for my coaching courses. I'm sure I could probably ramp it up a lot, but like, I don't know if I want to go that route. I don't know yet. But between the two, clients pay me like 5 to 10 grand, like per whatever, you know, and then like my $97 course. They're both valuable, and I think they're both great. But I'm just saying, like when you're looking, when you're picking between the two, that's why I have focused on client work exclusively. Anyway, so the point is, do I want to focus my funnel on when clients land on my site, setting up like a nice little thing to like escort them through working with me and convincing them to hire me? Or do I kind of want to make it easier and do it for my course? Because that is a little bit easier of a sell because it's $97. You know, it's at a price point that like it's a stretch for a lot of people, but is it completely unheard of in the online course world? No. So is it a little bit easier of a sell? A little bit. So which one do I'm thinking, because I had to do a lot of like, I've done a lot of soul searching and what do I want my business to look like and all of that down the line. And ideally, I would work one-on-one with people less. That is the conclusion I've come to. I want to be able to just like not work on a Monday if I didn't choose to, even though I love my work. So I don't think that would happen. But like just the option of having nothing on my plate and having just like all of my systems and my back end stuff take care of stuff, which is why this is all interesting to me, tickling my fancy, tickling that little part of my brain that's like, that sounds nice. And why I'm going to start focusing on making technology work for me, basically, is like what I'm going to do. And okay, So back to the steps. There's a lot of steps in there, but I'm taking out the ones that I'm going to do and that worked for me and my business where it's at right now. So I'm really, really leaning towards I'm gonna make a sales funnel for my course. Because last time I released it just like a month ago, I sent out like the most casual small email of like, hey, by the way, it's open. Cool. And like that was it. I didn't even promote it on like Twitter, Instagram, or anything. Nothing. Nope, just pure, just like, hey, by the way. And so, okay. So, first and foremost, fun opt-in landing page. So, I'm sure it'll be something about wanting to become a copywriter, title that kind of fancy a little bit, because I think that's why a lot of people have come to my channel and watch my content. They want to become a copywriter or learn some tricks of the trade or whatever, or they are, and they want to improve some skills. Um, so something like that. And then, according to Ash, and Ash is always right, she just creates the best content and just follow it. And by following Ash's advice, that's how I've gotten here this far. I just need to do the rest of the like back end business stuff that I have ignored for a decade. So what she says is do your 12 best pieces of advice and put it into an autoresponder. So 3 times a week they hear from you with your 12 absolute best pieces of advice. And that does build your brand. It builds a connection. It builds your audience. Like people do, once someone is interested enough to sign up for an email, which is harder and harder these days because all of our inboxes are dying and suffocating and all of us are like, I'm not looking at my email again. So for someone to even take that step means a lot. And you have to keep in touch with them. I am so guilty of finally sending out emails like once a quarter at best. Um, which is so funny because this is literally my job and like I know better, and yet I'm out here just filming once per quarter of like, hey guys, how's it going? And it's usually a pitch because I'm usually releasing or launching something. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's email marketing absolute not 101. Like don't do anything that I do for that. So it's finally time to fix this and like so they land on your email list. You give them 12 pieces of your best advice. I'm probably going to do a little more like somewhere like 4 to 5 and maybe like twice a week. I know. Ash says 3 times a week, but right now that feels like a lot. She says 2,000 to 3,000 words each. I don't know if I agree with that. I know she's right, but like I'm just going to keep it a much easier barrier for me because if I think I have to write 3,000 words times 12, don't make me do that math. 36,000 word. I think I'll die. I think I'll put that off forever and it won't get done, which is half of my problem with like creating autoresponders in the back end stuff is like all of that writing. Oh my God, that could, between all the other client work I have to do to already. So I'm going to lower the stakes there for myself personally and keep it more like, I don't know, 1,000 words and like 4 of them, like just to get the ball rolling and then improve it from there. But I think for somewhere to start, I'm going to start there and keep it easy on myself and keep it simple. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll put that off for the entirety of the year. And the whole point of all this is you build the trust and then you obviously pitch them something on the back end, right? Like you guide them through your best advice and then you say like, hey, also if you want like deeper and more information, you can like check out my course, right? We all know what it is. It's not spammy. It's not scammy, especially if they're already interested in it, then like cool. And I'm going to have like opt-ins along the way. So it's not just like sales funnel. It's like, hey, if you're like, are you interested in becoming a copywriter? Like right here, like click here and then that will auto trigger the rest of the sales funnel to come to them. Because I think it's really I have just found personally it's better to let people either opt in to like a sales sequence or not. I have no interest in just like bombarding people with like 14 emails in a week of like, now, 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 never, or it's never coming back. It's gonna disappear forever. It's gonna. Hi, baby. I know. We'll eat in a minute. My dog's like, girl, who are you talking to, and why is it not me, and why am I hungry? Can you just not like heavy breathe in my direction though, so like the audience isn't cringing at the. Okay. This is the one problem with the good microphone from Twitch. Is that it catches a lot of things. So if you just hear my dog heavy breathing in the background, I'm sorry. I have a lot of options on my camera when it comes to this little Twitch one. Uh, too close. Okay. So, just like all sales funnels, opt in or landing page, and then the sequence, and then give them the option to opt in to the sales email sequence, and then now you can turn your focus back to the beginning of the funnel and getting people into the funnel. But you have to have the funnel first in order to even send people there, right? And that is something I'm thinking about. That is my plans. That's what I'm doing throughout the quarter. I'm going to obviously try and keep up with YouTube videos, but I do really want these things done. You know, I think it's time. I need to focus on building the back end and building the sales funnels in order to have all of this just finally done. So then, like, as I create content, like, people have somewhere to go and they have next steps to do, and they can, like, I have all of these blogs that I have not put in any kind of like sequential order, like, oh, read this first, then read this, or like, hey, list, let me email you more than once in like a blue moon as I turn off my lights. So it's just finally time. So that is what I'm gonna work on. I will maybe document it on this channel as I work my way through it. We'll see. So anyway, that is it. This was a long video again, but these are just my thoughts, just spitballing ideas for just I know a lot of you are copywriters and you're kind of working on building the business end of it, and this is the business end of it, of the fun back end stuff that you need to do. So do it sooner than I am doing it, and I think you'll be much happier with the result. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Do I have anything else covered? No, I don't think so. Okay, that's it. Bye, guys.